and welcome to the Scan Zone End of Year Special 2020, where we'll take a look back at the year. Whilst it wasn't quite the year we'd all expected, the tech world kept on spinning and we had some pretty cool product releases and launches to keep us occupied. Scan also bagged themselves a double hat-trick of awards voted for by readers. Plus, we continued with our incredible Scan competitions with arguably some of the best giveaways we have ever had. We'll hear from you guys as well on what's made your tech year. And of course, it wouldn't be Scan Zone if we didn't have a mega mountain of gaming goodies to give away. Stay tuned to find out how you can win an epic prize bundle worth over £5,000 for free. But first, let's take a look in more detail at the biggest releases of the year. Although 2020 has been crazy in many respects, it's been a good year for advancements in gaming technology. NVIDIA has introduced its cracking 30 series graphics cards, the price of SSDs has come down and the capacities have got more significant. Plus, we've seen the launch of third generation AMD Ryzen processors. So let's take a look in more detail at the best bits of a crazy old 2020. Of course, the tech world always gets off to an exciting start in January, with CES being the place brands often choose to showcase their most exciting announcements. The show is massive, so we'd be here all day recapping on all the tech wonder on display. So instead, let's dive in and look at the calendar events of when they were actually released. The show-stopping new Ryzen Threadripper 3990X landed in February, with 64 cores providing an astonishing 128 threads of simultaneous multi-processing power. It's optimised for use with video editing, 3D modelling, simulation and even software development. February was also the month that Scan launched the Thermaltake Modding Challenge, which gave budding modders the chance to win their creation, plus £1,000 in cash when it would be judged later in the year. 2020 was a great year for VR. The HTC Vive Cosmos Elite was released in March, offering awesome performance for PC VR gamers, with an all-new LCD panel and 2880 by 1700 combined pixel resolution, meaning you get an 88% increase over the original Vive. And in the same month, Microsoft announced DirectX 12 Ultimate, their new graphics API, which codifies GeForce RTX's innovative technologies as the standard for multi-platform next-gen games. April saw Intel launch their 10th gen CPUs across its Core i9, i7, i5 and i3 lineups. The first to launch and the top of the tree being the Core i9-10900K, offering 10 cores and 20 threads and that super high non-overclock 5.3 GHz boost speed. With the introduction of their LGA 1200 socket also comes the new Intel motherboard chipset, the Z490. And manufacturers wasted no time in unveiling their new lineups of Z490 motherboards. A global pandemic didn't stop NVIDIA's annual GTC conference, although it happened virtually this year from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang's kitchen, where we first got a glimpse of that impressive spatula collection. He revealed details of their new 7nm Ampere GPU architecture, as well as multiple products using it, including the new A100, set to dramatically disrupt the economics of data center infrastructure for artificial intelligence. And although there was no clarification on the specs or release dates for the next-gen GPUs, this new architecture certainly got gamers excited and looking forward to the big reveal. With plenty of people working from and spending more time at home this summer, the launch of Elgato's first two microphones, the Wave 1 and the Wave 3, was very well received. As they're aimed at streamers who want to improve their audio recording, we gave them to Rage Darling to test out, and you can check out her review over on our Pro Gaming channel by clicking the link in the description. AMD launched the B550 chipset in mid-June to accompany their Ryzen 3000 CPUs that launched last year. It comes as a successor to the B450 chipset and is still aimed at gamers on a budget with the best price-to-performance balance. The much-anticipated Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 landed in August for all budding pilots, and it's come a long way since the first version in 1982. The 11th major entry of the Microsoft Flight Simulator series uses topographical data from Bing Maps combined with Microsoft Azure AI technology, and you can choose to fly over some of the world's most iconic landmarks. You can fly anywhere on the planet, even choosing to fly over your own home, and use real-time weather conditions for even more reality. We made a few videos around this launch looking at different flight sim peripherals and setups for all budgets, from a HOTAS right through to a full VR motion simulator, so be sure to check out those videos linked below. And Scan had an awesome competition themed around this launch. August was also the month we announced Andy Makin as our Thermaltake modding competition winner. It was a tough call, but Andy's project Isaac took the top spot.
I'm so happy that I won, and I just want to thank everybody who voted in the competition, even if it was one of the other competitors. Thank you so much for making the competition a massive success, and thank you so much for voting for me and helping me win the competition.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. No way.
Early September, and Jensen Huang and his spatulas took to his kitchen once again, this time to announce those long-awaited specs for the RTX 30 series cards featuring the Ampere architecture we mentioned earlier. The RTX 3090 being the most powerful NVIDIA GeForce GPU ever released. The RTX 3080 and RTX 3090 were released later in September and caused an almighty stir, with gamers clambering to buy them up and stock snapped up in record time. He also announced the new RTX technologies: I/O, Broadcast, Omniverse Machinima and Reflex. Reflex dynamically reduces system latency by combining both GPU and game optimizations, especially when used in conjunction with the latest G-Sync enabled monitors. This month also saw Asus release the world's fastest esports 360Hz monitor. Plus, Samsung and WD launched their first PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSD offerings, both of which raised the performance bar to 7,000 megabytes per second. Early October saw NVIDIA's second online GTC of the year, where Jensen announced some super exciting advancements in AI and GPU accelerated compute, including the Cambridge One AI supercomputer. You can find out more about this in our Keynote Roundup video on our Scan Business YouTube channel. The Oculus Quest 2 standalone VR headset also launched in October. It's cheaper than its predecessor despite being more powerful than ever before, with an improved processor bringing VR to the masses. Then the third of the RTX 30 series cards, the 3070, released at the end of October, again causing much excitement and stock shortages everywhere, offering almost 2080 Ti performance for mid-range prices. And this was the month that Scan won that double hat-trick of awards, scooping 3 from the leading enthusiast tech magazine in the UK, Custom PC, and 3 from the prestigious PC Pro magazine. These awards were extra special for Scan as they were voted for by readers who've experienced our service rather than journalists. November was a busy month for AMD with their 5000 series of CPUs launching. Based on the new Zen 3 architecture, these CPUs are engineered for maximum single-threaded performance, boosting frame rates in your favourite games, as well as having a ton of cores for fantastic video encoding and rendering speed. Then mid-November, the first models of the AMD Radeon 6000 series of GPUs launched. Based on the new RDNA 2 architecture, the 6800 and 6800 XT mark AMD's first attempt at hardware-accelerated ray tracing. This was also the month Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was released, a direct sequel to the first Black Ops, which sees Mason, Woods and a new team raise hell in the 80s as they search for a Russian spy called Perseus. our 3XS team had the opportunity to really show what they could do, working with both NVIDIA and then Activision on some custom-built PCs that were then given away as competition prizes. We also saw the release of the much-anticipated PlayStation 5 with 4K Blu-ray playback, immersive 3D audio, clever haptic feedback tech, and top-notch streaming apps, although limited stock meant many gamers will have to wait until the new year to get one. And of course, Xbox next-gen consoles, the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, also launched their fastest, most powerful yet. And sneaking in at the end of the year, NVIDIA launched the most affordable of their 30 series cards, the RTX 3060 Ti. AMD's flagship card, the Radeon RX 6900 XT, was released. And Cyberpunk 2077, easily one of the most anticipated games of the decade, finally launched, rounding off what has been, quite frankly, a busy old year in the tech and gaming worlds. And with so much going on in the world of tech, we asked you what was your favourite release of the year, and here's what some of you had to say. Over on Twitter, we had Lazarus101. They said it's been a tough call, to be quite honest. Despite 2020 being a tough year, there's been a lot of amazing tech, though many of us mere mortals have been able to buy any of it. For me, it would have been the 5000 series GPUs for their amazing increase in IPC. Lots of people also echoing that one. Slacky Chan over on Twitter said the absolute thrill of acquiring both a 3080 Founders and a Ryzen 5800X from Scan Computers on release day. Lucky old you, there'll be a few people jealous of you right now. One of the only good things to happen this year, and then he put face with tears of joy. P3LWO, also known as Chris, over on Twitter, he said it has to be AMD and their Zen 3 RDNA 2 launches. Okay, stock's been awful for everyone, but AMD have really brought the fight to Intel and NVIDIA this year, and the market really needed that competition. Hopefully stock issues will be resolved sooner rather than later. We all hope so. Lloyd Breen 1995, also on Twitter, said the EVGA RTX 3080, what a card, and thank you for building my beast. Thanks for sending in the picture, Lloyd. Looks awesome. At Average Dad FB said, favourite thing in the world would probably be the Elgato key light and the key light ring. Perfect for streaming. I'm actually looking at getting another. Good news. At Rob Madden says, if I had one, it would be my RTX 3070. I've come to enjoy the daily game of refreshing the page to see how many haven't been delivered. Can't blame you guys at Scan though, just 2020. Thanks for that, Rob. That's definitely a sentiment echoed by many of you. Very frustrating for us as well. Global pandemic coupled with unprecedented demand has meant that there's been global shortages everywhere. Please bear with us. I can assure you we're doing absolutely everything that we can, including working closely with manufacturers to get as much stock in and out as we possibly can. Thank you for bearing with us. Now, over on Facebook, Stuart Edwards says, again, the launch of the RTX 3080 was a personal highlight for me, as they were well overdue some new graphics technology, and this card absolutely delivered on that and then some. I paired that with a 10900K, wow, and I honestly think I have a bona fide supercomputer in my house now. Then in brackets, just hoping the wife doesn't pay too much attention to the next electricity bill. Michael Myler says Half-Life Alyx was the best game release and the 30 series NVIDIA was the best launch, if we could actually buy one. John Patrick Burton says Ryzen 5000 series without a doubt. Despite the stock situation, AMD have finally taken it to Intel and their 14nm architecture. Adam Green says the Razer Live event and the release of their chair. And Daryl Rogue says, apart from the chaos that has been 2020, the new tech releases have been outstanding. AMD bringing in both the GPU and CPU side, NVIDIA with a very unique design that's breathtaking, and to have a game push the limits of even the top tier components. 2020, you have been a wild ride. Look forward to 2021 and what all the competition will bring, as do we. Now, another thing, of course, that got a lot of you talking was our awesome Scan competitions where you were able to enter for free. Let's take a look at some of them. We had some absolute belters with prizes from our very own 3XS, where you could win a custom NVIDIA gaming PC with an NVIDIA Shield TV, as well as the chance to win a Microsoft Flight Simulator PC, a streaming PC with Elgato Wave 3 mic, 3 pick your own basket prizes, and an Oculus Quest 2 with a full 3XS PC set up, to name just a few. Plus that Thermaltake modding competition we mentioned earlier. And of course, it wouldn't be a Scan Zone end of year special if we didn't have the biggest giveaway of 2020. And this time we've themed it all around the most anticipated game release of the year, Cyberpunk 2077.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife. Ka-ting, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
We've teamed up with Republic of Gamers and Oculus to bring you the ultimate Cyberpunk gaming PC experience. It's fair to say that it's definitely best played on the PC. So, our winner will take away this gorgeous 3XS Vengeance RTX gaming PC featuring a Ryzen 9 5900X CPU, 32GB of DDR4 memory, ultra-fast NVMe SSD and the mighty NVIDIA RTX 3090 graphics card. But of course, we don't stop there. You'll also get a full set of ROG peripherals, including the Strict Scope keyboard, Chakra mouse, Delta headset and Sheath XL mousepad, plus a Thrustmaster eSwap Pro controller with Cyberpunk yellow modules. And for the full Cyberpunk 2077 experience, we're also including some Corsair LT100 light towers to add even more RGB. And to go with all of that, we have this super ultra-wide monitor from Republic of Gamers. It's 43 inches in a 32:10 aspect ratio with a 3840x1200 resolution, 120Hz support for super smooth motion and HDR to really make Night City come to life. And of course, we couldn't call it a Cyberpunk themed giveaway if we didn't include the day one edition of the game itself. And prepare to get very excited now, as we still haven't finished. On top of this, you're going to get yourself an awesome Oculus Quest 2 headset and PC link cable. This allows you to play the latest VR compatible games either on your PC itself using the link cable, or you can enjoy it as a standalone headset. All in, this massive prize bundle is worth more than £5,200. And then there's also 5 runner-up prizes of a copy of the day one Cyberpunk game for PC with the Thrustmaster eSwap Pro gamepad. A huge thank you, of course, to Republic of Gamers and Oculus for providing these amazing prizes. Get entering now by following the Gleam link in the description, and of course, a huge, gigantic, whopping good luck. Well, that's all from us from the strange old year that has been 2020. But we will, of course, be keeping you up to date in the technology world. So please make sure you subscribe to all of our YouTube channels for great content and keep an eye on our socials. Thanks so much for all of your support this year. We know it's been a tough one for many of you. Stay safe, and here's to a great 2021. See you next year.